Hey there, good looking. Are you the one Lady Arabelle promised to send me? I could use the help. I'm neck deep in a secret mission that involves a beautiful missing woman. It's a mystery straight out of an Investigator Vale novel. Ah, that part comes later. The darling Valencia has disappeared. So, that takes precedence. I was hired by Lady Arabelle to pick up some medallions from Valencia. But when I got to her workshop, I found the place ransacked, and she was gone. People in my line of work tend to acquire various contacts. I put the word out, and finally got one of mine to bite. I'm off to meet up with Taraska now. So, want to help me find Valencia and talk to my contact? You'll be paid, naturally. Here's the location where my contact Taraska wants to meet. I hired a wagon to take us there. Hope you don't mind being in close quarters for a bit, my good-looking friend. Hop in, and we'll be on our way. Valencia crafted them from a master medallion. Lady Arabelle says they're crucial to the success of our mission, but I stopped listening when I realized they weren't worth any gold. They're invitations of some sort, but she didn't tell me what for. Not really. My first job for Lady Arabelle was to track down the master medallion, the template used to make the others. I don't know the finer details, or care to. I was supposed to get the medallions from Valencia, but they were missing too. I asked the same thing. Lady Arabelle said, and I quote, "Don't be foolish, dear." She really knows how to wound with her words. It has something to do with Valencia's enchantments. They permit the wearers to enter a protected location. Valencia's a gorgeous young wizard making a name for herself in the Mages Guild. I've only met her twice, but she's wild for me. She probably stays up every night dreaming of this handsome face. I have that effect on people, you know. Exactly. First at one of those stuffy Society of the Steadfast events that Lady Arabelle forced me to attend. And then I saw her again after I recovered the Master Medallion and delivered it to her workshop. All that matters is that we find her. Some philanthropic organization that Lady Arabelle works for. They provide aid to those displaced or wounded by the ongoing war in Cyrodiil, among other charitable works. Now, can we go find Valencia, please? Taraska, you're looking well, you old cat.
Save it, Jakar.
You haven't changed a bit. Friend, go ahead and speak with him.
Jakarm was wise to bring another. He will surely use you as an excuse to weasel out of the gold he owes this one. Taraska is glad to have someone to speak with other than that smooth skin. This one has information for you about his friend. Taraska's associates learned of a group transporting a high elf prisoner. While following them, this one realized the group was the Ascendant Order. Oh, you have not heard of them. They are a group that opposes the Three Banners War. Their methods of protest are usually non-violent, so this one finds it odd that they would be associated with a kidnapping. But this is not Taraska's affair. Inside there, Taraska followed long enough to watch them disappear through an opening covered by vines. They did not come back out. This one left something there to show you the way. Taraska left a lantern at the entrance where this one saw the Ascendant Order take Jakarn's friend. You cannot miss it. Be sure not to let Jakarn die. He owes Taraska a great deal of gold, and this one intends to collect at some point. The less Taraska talks about that, the better. This one has known Jakarn a long time and has suffered his flippant attitude from the beginning. He is a thief, with a silver tongue and a charming smile. There is no combination that is more obnoxious. Taraska is no hero. Jakarn asked for information, and this one has provided. And now, that unclawed idiot owes Taraska even more.
Thanks for talking to Taraska. He's as cranky as ever. Anyway, that prisoner he mentioned must be the lovely Valesia. We need to rescue her. Come on, let's get inside and find Valesia and her kidnappers. I should have expected that. I ran into them during my first job for Lady Arabelle. They got their hands on the Master Medallion before I stole it back. Makes sense they'd go after the others. But why take Valesia? That's not their style. Theories aren't part of my repertoire, but I can smell trouble when it's brewing. The Ascendant Order is planning something big, and I don't like it. Come on, let's find Valesia. More rescuing, less speculating. The Ascendant Order must have a hideout in here somewhere. Taraska said he left a lantern at the entrance, right? Let's look around for any signs of Valesia. Could be anything, really. Just keep your eyes open, and deal with anything that wants to stab, burn, or eat us. Remember, Taraska said he left a lantern by a cave opening covered in vines. You got this. Here, meet me. That looks like a piece of Valesia's robes. She always did look great in that color. Come on, we must be close. Looks like there was a scuffle here. Smaller footprints could be Valesia's. Ascendant champion, huh? I don't like the sound of that. Look, I think we found our entrance. Let's see inside here. Let's go. Your dashing hero is here to rescue you. That was Valesia. This way.
I guess this is a fight now.
Don't worry, Valesia. Your hero has arrived. I'm sure you're overwhelmed by the sight of me. Just a moment, and I'll untie you.
Jakarn? Lady Arabelle's assistant? How did you find me? I didn't think anyone would find me in here. Least of all Jakarn, but I am thankful to you both. The invitation medallions. Jakan was supposed to pick them up for Lady Arabelle, but the Ascendant Order stole them. We have to get them back. I just finished the invitation medallions for Lady Arabelle when the Ascendant Order burst into my workshop. They kidnapped me, took the medallions, tied me up, and left me here. They never even asked any questions. I don't understand it. I don't know for sure, but the group split up when we arrived. A few dragged me in here while the others went off deeper into the cave. They must have taken the medallions that way. There are 5 medallions total. Please, you must find them. Give me a moment, and I'll help you look for the medallions. It's extremely important that we get them back. Those Ascendant Order thugs must have taken them further into the cave. I'm not really supposed to say. I'd rather let Lady Arabelle give you the details. What I can tell you is that the medallions are invitations. I enchanted them to allow the wearer's entry to a secret location at Lady Arabelle's request. No, they barely acknowledged my presence, despite the fact that they kidnapped me, and believe me, I was persistent. I don't know how they found out about the medallions in the first place, but their Ascendant champion seemed very well informed. Just that she was clearly in charge of this operation. All of the so-called knights that manhandled me acquiesced to her every command. She went off deeper into the cave with the group that I presume took the medallions. We met a couple of times. He wouldn't have been memorable at all if he had not been so determined to get my attention. His advances were harmless, of course, but quite persistent. Still, I'm not sad to see him. I am grateful for the rescue. Does he now? I'm not surprised. Jakan is the kind of person who thinks everyone is enchanted by every breath he takes. And I'm sure some are. I'm just not one of them. He's amusing at least, just shy of insufferable. I'm not really supposed to say. I'd rather let... Thank you for coming to my aid, Jakan.
My darling Valencia, the glowing adoration in your eyes as you gaze upon me is more than thanks enough.
I take it back. Where's the Ascendant Order? I want to be recaptured.
There you are, good looking. Did you find the medallions? Let Valencia know.
Ugh, I can't wait to get out of this place. The Ascendant Order has a lot to answer for. Please, tell me you found the medallions. Let me see. Oh, there's that Ascendant champion again. Lady Arabelle will want to hear about this. But I know this place, Saraloth Grotto. It's in Vardenfell, but they neglected to say exactly where inside the grotto they took the medallions. I think I have something that may help with that. Here, take this shell. It's not just a shell. I enchanted it with the same magic I used on the medallions. If you focus on the shell, the medallions will glow for a short time. Here, I'll mark the grotto on your map. And the boats mentioned in the scroll should be nearby.
Mind your step, and don't get caught in the muck. I almost lost a boot over there. Welcome to the arse end of nowhere. This is the place Valencia described to me. The entrance to Saraloth Grotto. The 5 medallions must be somewhere inside. Let's hurry and get them back. You still have that shell Valencia gave you, right? Good. That will help us find the medallions once we get inside. Valencia said if you concentrate on it, the medallions will glow. I suspect the Ascendant Order won't make this easy for us. The bad guys never do. No way to tell. But if we meet the Ascendant Champion, I owe her for tying up the beautiful Valencia. There's no call for that sort of rough stuff unless all parties agree. Anyway, remember, our priority is retrieving those 5 medallions. Use the shell and see if a medallion is nearby. See something over there. Valencia is as brilliant as she is beautiful. The shell works. Now, let's find the rest. Ah, there's the sneaky bastard.
Are you questioning my boy's word? Leave the medallions exactly as I instructed. Now I must take my leave. I have other matters to attend to.
Right? That's all 5 medallions. Come on. I think I saw a way out of here. We recovered all 5 medallions, and we got to witness a surprise appearance by the mysterious Ascendant Champion we've been hearing so much about. Lucky us. A job well done, if I do say so myself. Now we get these medallions to Lady Arabelle. Can't wait to introduce you. She's quite remarkable. A former Lion Guard officer, spy, agent for High King Emmerich, and world-famous author. But, don't mention that last part. Oh, she doesn't like to brag. In fact, she'll adamantly deny it if you ask. But she writes those wonderful Investigator Vale novels. At least that's the word on the street. Anyway, we should get going before more of the Ascendant Order shows up. I'll mark the location of her camp on your map. It's safer if we split up, so I'll meet you there. You hang on to the medallions for now. Pains me to admit it, but I think you can protect them better than I can. I'm more of a lover than a fighter. See you at Lady Arabelle's camp. Ah, there they are now. Over here, good looking. Lady Arabelle, this is the one who helped me recover the medallions.
Ah, so you're the darling Jakan was just telling me about. The one who helped him complete the mission I specifically told him not to bungle. Thank you for rescuing Valencia. I prefer that no harm comes to my associates, especially the lovely ones. So Jakan mentioned, well done. I'm not sure how the Ascendant Order ascertained our plans, but at least you recovered the invitation medallions. They're the key, after all. Figuratively and literally. Oh, that's good. I should write that down. I suppose you've earned that information. The Society of the Steadfast has decided to sponsor peace talks to end the Three Banners War. The medallions will allow the chosen delegates to enter the hidden location where the talks will be held. That, my dear, is precisely what I plan to figure out. These talks are too important to allow anything to interfere with them. We must determine what the Ascendant Order wants, and we must do so quickly. But first, may I have the medallions? Ah, aren't they beautiful? One for each delegation invited to the peace talks. And this is for you. Take it with my thanks. And know that the Society of the Steadfast coffers are very deep. You'll be paid very well for your continued assistance. Now that we've recovered the medallions, it's time to deliver them to the various delegations. You know about the peace talks and the stakes we're facing. Are you willing to help us finish this, despite the threat posed by the Ascendant Order? I need someone trustworthy to deliver the invitation medallions. Jakan and I will deliver medallions to the Alliance leaders so they can assign them to their chosen delegates. I'd like you to deliver the ones for the Fighters and Mages guilds. The guilds are respected and influential in their own right. They deserve to be part of these negotiations. Here, 2 medallions. And look, Archmagister Delric has just arrived. You can deliver the Mages Guild medallion to him first. Please be careful with those medallions, dear. It took a great deal of resources to craft them, and we don't have time to make any more. Deliver one to Archmagister Delric, and then make haste to the Fighters Guild Hall in your capital. Oh, did he now? And what other secrets has he revealed, I wonder? Well, let me sate your curiosity. I've been many things in my long career. Mercenary, Lion Guard officer, spy, and agent of the High King, to name a few. I have many talents, my dear. Never believe what you read in the chronicles. Do these look like ink-stained fingers of a scrivener to you? I am rather fond of the bawdy investigator and her exploits, though. They remind me of my younger, carefree days of adventure. Why don't we set this aside for now? We both have places to be, and time is short. If you want to discuss rumors and innuendos, we can talk later. Perhaps over a meal and an expensive bottle of wine. For now, just deliver your medallions, dear.
I'll create portals for you and Jakan, Lady Arabelle.
Good luck, everyone. Remember, the future of Tamriel is at stake.
I apologize for my tardiness, but the work of an Archmagister never ends. I saw Lady Arabelle leave. Pity. I was hoping to speak with her. Anyway, the Mages Guild decided I would represent them in the upcoming peace talks. You have my invitation? Ah, yes. Remarkable craftsmanship. Valencia has come a long way since she was my apprentice. I created the master. It was no small feat. Intricate work, making enchantments of such power. Once I slip the chain over my head, the medallion will be linked to me until the peace talks are concluded. And is that second medallion for the Fighters Guild? No, I suggest you get it to them as soon as you can. Let me just slip this on and...
Archmagister! Archmagister Delric! He's dead! He just put the medallion around his neck and it jolted him with arcane energy. Oh, how could this happen? My work was perfectly safe. You don't think... Oh no. Quick, give me the Fighters Guild medallion. I should have examined the medallions more closely after you recovered them. Someone has altered the enchantment, trapped them to release a killing spell when worn. It had to be the Ascendant Order, and they left them for you to find. Oh no. Don't you see? The Ascendant Order altered the medallions. They wanted us to recover them. And now Jakan and Lady Arabelle are on their way to deliver them. They must be stopped before the other medallions are activated and the delegates are killed. Take this medallion and place it on my work table in the camp. I'll create a dispelling powder that you can use to eliminate the danger and return the medallions to their original state. Meanwhile, I'll gather Delric so I can cleanse it as well. These reagents will form a powder that you can use to dispel the deadly enchantments. There. That powder will do the job. Just sprinkle a pinch over each of the Alliance medallions, and it will return them to their original state. Only the protective magic of the invitations will remain. Chase down Jakan and use the dispelling powder on his 2 medallions before any more of the delegates are killed. Meanwhile, I'll restore the guild medallions and contact Lady Arabelle. Yes, my portal sent him to Windhelm to deliver the Ebonheart Pack's invitation medallion to Yoren the Skald King. He's probably on his way to the Palace of Kings right now. Take the pouch of powder from the table, and I'll open the portal for you. This portal will take you to Windhelm. Find Jakan and use the powder on the medallions before anyone else is killed.
Hold there. State your business in the Palace of Kings. State your business, adventurer. We don't just let anyone wander around the Palace of Kings. Ah, from the Society of the Steadfast, right? Are you an associate of his? Well, you just missed him. He delivered a medallion for the Skald King and then went on his way. Your associate said the medallion was a gift from the Society of the Steadfast. Why would it pose a danger? I placed it in the study. I planned to present it to Yoren once I had time to assess it. Very well. The Society of the Steadfast has never given me reason to doubt them before. I'll show you to the medallion, but if you make one move that threatens the Skald King, I won't hesitate to cut you down. Come, let's get to it. Is it done? Is the medallion safe? I'm not well versed in the ways of magic, so forgive my skepticism. But how can you be certain the medallion is no longer dangerous? I refuse to hand the Scold King something I'm not absolutely sure is safe. I believe you, but I think I'll still have our court mages take a look all the same. I thank you for the timely warning. Is your associate aware of the danger? He seemed eager to make his next delivery. He said he was traveling to Auradon to meet with someone from Queen Erin's court. You might check the docks in Skywatch. If he intends to deliver another one of these medallions, you should hurry and intercept him. We may be at war with Queen Erin, but there's no honor in killing an enemy in this despicable manner. A boat's available at our docks if you need it, and I'll make sure the Scold King receives this medallion from the Society of the Steadfast.
I appreciate your dedication to this uptight, surly demeanor, but I'm just here to deliver a medallion to Queen Erin.
Be that as it may, a ruffian like you will not be allowed anywhere near our queen. I shall examine this medallion myself.
Hey, good looking. I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon. Oh, and I wasn't giving this fine seneschal a hard time. I was just building a trusting rapport. Anyway, I delivered the Aldmeri Dominion medallion. We can be on our way. What? Seriously? I'm glad I decided not to try on the medallions on my way here. Hey, I already delivered the Ebonheart Pact medallion. We have to get back to Windhelm. I am not willing to add regicide to my growing list of bounties. Oh, good. Maybe start with that next time? Anyway, if you can dispel the evil magic, then don't let me keep you. You can fill me in on the details later. Just hurry before that pompous bureaucrat decides to try on the medallion.
Did you say evil magic? Dispel it! Dispel it this instant!
My friends, I need your help. Oh good, I'm glad I found you. Something's wrong. The Ascendant Order attacked me. I managed to fight them off, but now I can't contact Lady Arabelle. I think she's in danger, and she still doesn't know about the altered medallion she's carrying. We have a way to stay in contact, but she isn't answering my sendings. I was able to trace the magic of my medallion, and it's headed toward an island off the coast of Daggerfall. Somehow, the Ascendant Order realized that we dispelled their magic. Because they came after me just before I delivered the restored medallion to the Fighters Guild. I think they may also be after Lady Arabelle, and I can't seem to open a portal to her location. That's very worrying to me. Sword's Rest is an island off the coast of Daggerfall. High King Emric uses it as a retreat. It makes perfect sense for her to meet him there. I need you and Shakan to find a ship on the Skywatch docks and get to Sword's Rest as quickly as you can.
The medallion's safe now. Please make sure you get it to the Queen. Hey, good looking. I'll meet you at the docks. No one to greet us. I don't like this. Keep your guard up, good looking. Definitely the Ascendant Order. Damn. I can't believe they're really trying to kill High King Emmerich. Come on, we have to get inside.
I will suffer no more delays. You have this last chance, champion.
Yes, Magus.
Just how many people are in charge of the Ascendant Order?
There you are. Your timing is impeccable. I'm not sure what the Ascendant Order is doing here, but they seem determined to eliminate me and Emmerich. I've been able to avoid most of their forces, and the few I couldn't, well, they hardly posed any trouble. How did you know where to find me? I hoped Valencia would sense our trouble. When the Ascendant Champion and her forces arrived by ship, they brought a powerful mage with them. Most of the island's defenses were rendered useless by his magic. But what was it about the medallions? A dispelling powder. Very clever. Sorry to hear about poor Derek, but I assume you took care of the other medallions? Good. Last I checked, Emmerich was safe in his private quarters. The wards there are still in place, but they won't hold forever. With a plan, my dear. Head up to the courtyard and confront the Ascendant Champion. In the meantime, Jakan and I will make our way around the back and surprise her mage from behind. Excellent. And I'll sprinkle this powder on the medallion along the way. Remember, we must stop the Ascendant Champion. If High King Emmerich dies, any chance to proceed with the peace talks will be lost. We can't allow that to happen.
We're almost through the wards, champion.
Take this, you coward! Look out!
I will take care of this. You dare challenge me? Fine. Step forward and die.
Did it kill them to run away?
At least
Well,
I didn't
no,
land
I
on my
guess it
face.
wouldn't. Maybe they should try that.
Good work, my dear. How exciting. Well, nothing warms the blood like a bit of a scuffle, wouldn't you say? That mage underestimated me, the poor dear. It's over now, at least. All that's left is to deal with this medallion and get it to High King Emmerich. I've been a little busy, dear. Now go outside, get on your boat, and return to camp. I'll meet you there. I need to dispel the medallion. Then, well, situations like this tend to stress out the High King. I can help him with that. I have before.
Lady Arabelle, are you sure you're not injured? Everything happened so fast at the keep.
Enough, Jakan. I've been dealing with worse villains since before you were born. Things took a few unexpected turns, but we delivered the medallions and the peace talks can proceed as planned. I wonder who the Alliance leaders will send as their delegates. I haven't seen Rigert the Brash in quite some time. Oh, not for a while yet. We're still preparing the secure site on High Isle. But if the Ascendant Order strikes again, I know who to contact. You really are quite remarkable, my dear. And this is for you. Compliments of the Society of the Steadfast. Oh, such an interesting adventure, don't you think? I must write down the pertinent details. Wouldn't want to forget a moment. And don't fret. I'll make sure to send for you when the situation on High Isle escalates. You're too good not to call on again. Never heard of High Isle? I'm not surprised. It's sort of a getaway spot for nobles and royalty. It's the largest island in the Sisters Archipelago in the Abetian Sea. Technically, it's a Breton territory, but most treat it as neutral ground. Yes, my dear. It's really quite beautiful. I have a manor there for those brief periods when I'm not working on one thing or another. The Society of the Steadfast selected it specifically for the peace talks. I can't wait for them to get underway. Oh, not that again. You don't realize how tedious that question has become, and all because of a nosy chronicler and her unfounded accusations. Listen, my dear, you and I will get along much better if you never ask me about Investigator Vale again.
We're just about ready to set... I was planning on sailing to Sadrith Mora next, but I don't mind taking you to...
Let the one who stole my steel.
My dockhands are watching for your cargo, Lady Arabelle. They know it's precious.
There was a storm off the coast. Perhaps it delayed the ships.
Forgive me if I do the job you hired me for, Lord Bacaro. Ah, a familiar face. I could use your help, adventurer. So good to see you again, my dear. Remember that little predicament we dealt with not too long ago? Well, now I have a related but larger problem, so let me tell you about my proposition. It pays exceedingly well, I assure you. Care to hear more? Oh, nothing tawdry, my dear. We'll be too busy for romantic shenanigans before long, I expect. Some precious cargo was supposed to sail in on the morning tide, but it never arrived. I need someone not known around the island to be my eyes and ears. While tales of my exploits credit me with all sorts of talents, I can't be in more than one place at a time. I could use a fresh face to mingle with the locals, determine if anyone knows anything about my 3 missing ships, and their cargo. Lord Bakaro's conference can't proceed without that cargo. Here's what I need you to do. Check the inn, the lighthouse, and the Lockabane shallows. See if anyone knows or saw anything. Then meet me outside the north gate to compare notes. Certainly. Since you're new to High Isle, I understand you may not be as familiar with the local area as I am. What do you wish to know? Gonfalon Head Lighthouse, blessed by Kinnereth herself, stands atop the hill just west of town. It offers an excellent vantage from which to watch the nearby waters. Perhaps the lighthouse keeper saw something that will help. Possibly. When ships fail to make port, it's only natural to wonder if they were damaged or blown off course by a storm. The lighthouse keeper has a perfect view of the approach to Gonfalon Bay. If my ships were out there, she might have seen them. The currents of Lockabane are strong. Flotsam from the open sea often washes up along the shores of the waterway. Some of High Isle's poorer folk comb the beach looking for salvage. Let's hope they haven't found any today. The ancient Anchor Inn sits just up the street near the city gate. It's one of the more popular places on the island. In my experience, inns are an excellent location to pick up rumors. Wherever you think is best, my dear. But do get started soon. My intuition tells me that some sort of mischief is afoot, and my intuition is rarely wrong. The gentleman beside me, Lord Bakaro Valoris, leads the Society of the Steadfast. They're a philanthropic fellowship that provides aid to people who have suffered in the Three Banners War. The Society is sponsoring a conference here on the island. Well, yes, but we're trying to keep the details under wraps. Only a handful of people know the true purpose of the conference. You were brought in on the secret during our last run-in with the Ascendant Order, but please keep it to yourself. That's not an option I care to contemplate, not while there's still a chance to find them. Forgive me for being evasive, but it's a rather sensitive topic to discuss in public. We've already faced adversity, and the conference has yet to begin.
Ah, a visitor. Or another one of Lady Arabelle's associates. Either way, welcome to our island. Bakaro Valoris, founder of the Society of the Steadfast, at your service. I hope you find your visit to High Isle restful and profitable. Yes, a sudden squall of unusual intensity. It died out just as quickly as it arose. I noticed it off to the northeast. Dark clouds filled that part of the horizon. Perhaps our ships were delayed by the shifting winds, or decided to wait out the storm. I'm afraid that's privileged information. Suffice it to say, the cargo coming in on those ships is vital to the conference the Society of the Steadfast is sponsoring. Of course I do, but I learned long ago to have patience when it comes to such matters. Not every setback is a conspiracy, and not every delay is the act of a Daedric cult. Though, if you do learn anything of imminent concern, please let us know. I'm a philanthropist. I started the Society of the Steadfast to give relief to those caught up in the suffering caused by the Three Banners War. We establish healing tents for the wounded, distribute food and water, and provide whatever aid we can. As Lady Arabelle said, that's not something we're ready to talk about. Not until the cargo from the missing ships is secured. After that, I'll answer any questions you have. I'll even proclaim the purpose of the conference from the town square. High Isle is the primary island in the Sisters Archipelago. Technically, we're a Breton holding, but we try to behave as a neutral port. People from all over Tamriel come to experience the natural beauty of the island. Well, nobles mostly. Parts of it. But we have a rich history, and the same sorts of dangers you'd experience on the mainland. Bandits, pirates, wild beasts. And you might want to avoid our sister island, Amanos. It's a harsh jungle that has long served as a prison. Mostly political prisoners from the Empire at first. Later, rival nobles, pirates, murderers. The worst of the worst. Today, it also includes war criminals and certain prisoners of war. Amanos Station is friendly enough, but the jungle is deadly.
I'm a dockmaster, not a bloody mage. What does the lady expect me to do if her ships never made it to the docks in the first place? Should I be? Lady Arabelle suspects some sort of foul play, but not on my docks. Not a chance. Gonfalon Bay is safe. Everyone knows that. Trouble comes from the mainland, not from here. Of course, the waters to the northeast can be treacherous. The closer you get to Amanos, the more unpredictable the currents become. And storms constantly barrage the coast, not to mention sea elf pirates. A good captain knows these things. None of that would keep Lady Arabelle's ships from reaching port. Like I said, storms close to Amanos aren't that unusual. I doubt the ships we're waiting for would have sailed that far north. Just in case, I sent people to look for signs of wreckage in the shallows. I really don't expect them to find any, though.
You don't look like a salvager. Come to join up with those so-called knights who've been hanging around, did you? Pah! I'd rather go hungry than swear myself to the likes of them. Haven't seen anything sail by in the lock recently, and no new wreckage washed up today. But I've been keeping my head down. Those robber knights have been chasing off salvagers who won't promise to help them. They were recruiting, or at least offering the chance to earn a reward. They wanted people ready to haul in whatever came ashore. Several salvagers went with them. I wouldn't, though. What I find is mine. To a cave just down the beach. But I'd avoid it if I were you. Old Charbel nearly lost his head snooping around there. I don't know if they found what they were looking for, but I think they left a few knights behind to watch the shallows.
Oh, a traveler. I thought those vile knights had returned. Forgive me, I must continue praying for the return of our idol. Without it, this tower's light will remain dark. This lighthouse is special. It's blessed by Kinnereth, the god of winds and sea. No fire serves as a beacon for nearby ships, but the divine light of Kinnereth herself. But without the sacred idol, the light cannot shine. Alas, the idol was stolen. Knights in unmarked livery broke in and stole the Kinnereth idol. I watched the scoundrels flee to the west with the sacred edifice. Perhaps, dare I ask, would you be willing to recover the idol for the lighthouse so I may restore the beacon? They may wear the garb of knights, but the ruffians who assaulted me carry themselves like robbers and outlaws. Whoever they are, they're dangerous. Be wary of them, and may the wind guide you. Bless you, traveler. Please understand, to my order, this is more than just a lighthouse. This beacon spreads Kinnereth's blessing across both land and sea, but only with the idol in place, so it must be returned. It is marvelous, is it not? This is actually the second beacon to stand atop Gonfalon Head. It dates back to the early 1st century. When I assumed my duties here, the tower was in poor repair. Dangerous, even. When Duchess Alea Dufort assumed her father's duties a few years ago, she ordered a complete renovation of the structure. I'm sure she wanted to protect trade in Gonfalon Bay, but she spared no expense in rebuilding the lighthouse. You return, and with the idol. Place it here, and I shall call forth its light. Mother Kinnereth, this traveler has set right the desecration of this holy place. Return to us your blessing, and let your light shine over the land and sea. I cannot thank you enough. With the idol returned and the light restored, we can ensure the safe passage of many a weary traveler. Is there any way a priest of humble means could repay you? A blessing, perhaps? Shortly after the lighthouse was pillaged, I spied 3 ships on the horizon. Then suddenly, the clouds darkened, and a terrible storm began to blow in. I lost sight of the ships after that. Perhaps they were simply blown off course? Amanos is notorious for its storms, but Kinnereth generally blesses High Isle with fair weather. I wonder, the way the storm swept in seemed unnatural, and it happened so soon after Kinnereth's idol was removed. The idol has little value outside the lighthouse. Its light does not shine in any other location. My order believes Kinnereth's light blesses High Isle. Why steal the idol unless the knights meant to revoke her protection? A troubling thought indeed.
Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice. A rogue band that calls itself the Ascendant Order. I thought they were only active on the mainland, but they're here on High Isle. Rabble-rousers and troublemakers, if you ask me. And now, I hear they're looting caravans outside the city walls. Not specifically, but I saw some fancy-pants nobles giving the dockmaster grief. Missing ships could mean anything. Storms, pirates, poor winds, worthless navigators. Try Sergeant Dane over there. He's with the Sisters Guard and knows a lot.
I'm off duty, newcomer. Got a complaint? Take it to one of the other guards. We police High Isle. Ships that haven't arrived yet aren't our problem. Besides, we've got our hands full with these so-called Ascendant Order Knights. They're stirring up trouble all across the island. Just that they're little more than well-armed bandits. They've been recruiting the poor to bolster their numbers. Now they're robbing caravans while claiming they fight for justice. Honest folk don't hide their faces behind helmets and masks. They're malcontents. They go on about how the high and mighty misuse their power by squabbling over the Ruby Throne. It started out small enough, defying authority, inciting riots, petty sabotage. But now they're hurting people. Something else, newcomer? I'd like to get back to my drink. Ordinary bandits, the Sisters Guard can handle. But when we send enough guards to meet a company of Ascendant Order Ravagers, these faceless knights just melt away. And if we don't send enough guards, then our guards don't come back. Might as well be. Most knights proudly display their emblems. They wear the colors of their house and paint family crests on their shields. These Ascendant Order knights never remove their helms and bear no devices. They could be anybody.
Good. You found my field office. I thought I'd keep an eye on the lock while awaiting your report. My own investigations have turned up little about our missing ships. Tell me, did you uncover anything useful? Did the Lighthouse keeper spot them? Darken the beacon? The locals revere that light. Who would dare offend Kinnereth in such a way? Something is indeed wrong here. At least our missing ships reached these waters, but this storm worries me. Tell me more about the rogue knights. The Ascendant Order, of course. I thought the rumors about rogue knights troubling folk outside of town had a familiar ring, but I'd hoped we'd seen the last of the Order at Sword's Rest. Tell me, did you learn anything at the Shallows? It seems the Ascendant Order knew the ships would be wrecked, and they helped make sure by extinguishing the Lighthouse beacon. They knew my cargo was coming to High Isle. This means the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild delegates are in danger too. Ah, you caught that, did you? My missing cargo is more delegates for the conference. Perhaps the most important ones. But I need you to check on the guild delegates right now. They went to visit a druid named Ravana. Her hut lies to the west. Her name is Ravana. She's something of a local apothecary. She uses her skill with herbs and healing to help the folk of High Isle. With the conference delayed, Valencia was curious about druidic magic, so off she went. Quentin decided to tag along. Valencia, you know, she created the invitation medallions. As for Guild General Quentin, I only met him when he arrived. Seems to have a good head on his shoulders, but the war has cost him dearly. He lost his wife in a raid. To disrupt the peace talks? It would be a grand stage for the Ascendant Order's message. Or they might plan to strike at the delegations. Influential voices from all three alliances will be here soon. A tempting target. The Ascendant Champion's superior. When we defeated the champion at Swords Rest Isle, we only defeated one of the Order's leaders. I've heard whispers about an Ascendant Lord, too. I can't imagine there are too many more of them after that.
Greetings, traveler. Is there something I can do for you? Do you need a poultice or perhaps an herbal tea? Ah, yes. The curious mage and the stern warrior. They stopped by. When I mentioned that rogue knights had been making the countryside dangerous, they decided to investigate. I told them where I'd last seen the knights, and they set out at once. A clearing to the southwest. I'll mark the spot on your map. I saw a band of the knights gathering there the last time I went out to gather herbs. They forced me to retreat without them. I warned Valencia and Quentin it might be dangerous. Oh, you'll find druids throughout the Sisters Archipelago. Not too many on the mainland, though. Long ago, we druids left Tamriel and its troubles behind us. But here, our ancient ways survived. Our forebears among the Bretons believed civilization should live alongside nature, not tame it. In the early years of the Direni hegemony, they struggled for the soul of High Rock. They lost. Driven into exile, the Druids left to seek a place where they could live according to their beliefs. Their wanderings brought them to the Sisters. The followers of the Weird remained behind. They walked a different path than the Druids. The Weird are Breton witches. They follow teachings and practices that share a common ancestry with the Druids. Whereas we left the mainland, they remained behind to safeguard the forests of High Rock. We have more in common than we have differences. The biggest that you would notice is that the Weirds are all female, while we Druids accept all genders in our ranks. And we organize in circles of common beliefs, while the Weird Sisters form covens.
Bringing a book for travel is well worth the pack space. Shame they're so heavy.
Over here. I could use some help.
Did you meet the new commander?
Ah, my friend. How glad I am to see you again. This island is far more dangerous than I expected, especially after what just happened. Guild General Quentin accompanied me to visit Druid Ravana. When she told us about rogue knights in the area, Quentin was eager to investigate. It was the Ascendant Order. They overpowered Quentin and knocked me senseless. They captured Quentin. I don't think so. The Ascendant Order was definitely trying to take us alive. That's the only reason I had the opportunity to throw up a shroud spell and avoid being captured myself. Did you come out here to find us? And Ravana told you where to find us. Good. Now, we must rescue Quentin. I may have a way to find where the Ascendant Order took him, but we should get to safety first. Meet me back at Druid Ravana's hut. No. We came upon them just as they were finishing an attack on a caravan. But I assume they recognized us or decided our station warranted capture rather than elimination. But you came with a warning, didn't you? What did you find out? Wrecked the ships? How in oblivion could they coordinate such a thing? Clearly, the Ascendant Order is aware of the plans for Lord Bakaro's conference. They're here in force and causing more trouble than we anticipated. If they recognized us as delegates, there's all sorts of ways they could hold that over the conference. If they just assume we're rich nobles, ransom is always an option. But who can really say what those helmeted bastards are thinking? I've remained at Lady Arabelle's side since we delivered the invitation medallions to the delegates. I hope to help make sure their journey to High Isle proceeded smoothly. It seems the Ascendant Order is not so easily avoided. I came to talk to Ravana about arcane and related topics, and Quentin decided to tag along. When Ravana told us about rogue knights, I feared it might be the Ascendant Order. Quentin wanted to investigate. Turned out I was right. No. We came upon them just as they were finishing an attack on a caravan.
I understand, Valencia. Do what you must to find your friend.
I owe you a debt of gratitude for coming to my aid. It seems once again that Lady Arabelle chose well. Now to see if I can find Guild General Quentin, and by extension, the rogue knights who carried him away. Do you recall the invitation medallions I enchanted? Each delegate carries one, so I can trace my own magic to locate Quentin. Now let me see. They moved northeast, across the lock. I see an abandoned chapel. Crypts. No question, Quentin is there. Lady Arabelle asked me to try as soon as we realized the ships were late. I wasn't able to make a connection with those medallions. Maybe they were too far away, or some other magic interfered with my scrying, but I wasn't able to detect anything. No, we need to return to Lady Arabelle and share this information. Then we can mount a rescue for Guild General Quentin. I'll meet you at Lady Arabelle's little pavilion. What she calls her field office, I believe.
Valencia apprised me of the situation. I believe I know the place where she thinks they're holding Quentin. It must be the crypts below Abane Chapel on the northern shore of the loch. Will you accompany us on this rescue mission, my dear? Smashing. This will be like that time I pulled General Gautier out of a Reach stronghold during the border raids of 566. Now that was an adventure. Anyway, it's too bad Valencia couldn't scry the locations of the other missing delegates. I suppose you've earned the truth, and you certainly deserve my complete confidence. The 3 ships carried High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar, son of Yoren the Skald King. I dare say I've misplaced the leaders of Tamriel. I warned them of the danger, and we took such elaborate precautions. Obviously, they weren't enough. If we find Quentin with the Ascendant Order, we may find our missing royals. Let's meet at the chapel north of the lock and see what awaits us. We'll rendezvous at a Bane chapel on the north side of the lock. I've already sent an operative ahead to scout the area. Be prepared to defend yourself. The Ascendant Order won't give up Guild General Quentin without a fight. Whatever the situation, I won't abandon Quentin to his fate. Oh, that's good. Let me write that down. Besides, we have to risk it. Both to save Quentin and to see if we can learn anything about the missing Alliance leaders. We know their medallions aren't there, but they could have lost them at sea. Regardless, if the Ascendant Order uses the chapel as a hideout, we may learn something about their plans. Or a clue as to where to search for the Alliance leaders, perhaps.
There. It's open. Got any more locks you need picked? How about you, Valencia?
I think not, thank you.
Now's not the time, Jakan. Let's see what awaits us down in the crypts.
I can't pinpoint the exact location of Quentin's medallion. He could be anywhere in here.
I'll scout ahead. Maybe someone should watch the door in case anyone follows us.
I'll keep watch. Be careful.
Aw, I knew you cared.
Quentin is our priority, but keep your eyes open. Who knows what the Ascendant Order left lying about?
I cannot complain, but that does not seem to stop me.
The Ascendant Order has the captains of our missing ships. But where are the Alliance leaders? First things first, clear the path to the South Crypts, please. We must rescue the captains and hope that Quentin is with them.
Lady Arabelle.
Colleen, Zaji, Zuzo. Thank the Divines you're all right. But where are the delegates?
Apologies, my lady. We lost our charges.
Zaji, it's not all right.
Not to spoil the reunion, but we're about to get company.
Jakan, free the captains. Friend, keep the Ascendant Order at bay. Buy us some time.
Stupid thing won't... Wait, got it!
Collect Valencia and get the captains to safety, Jakan. We'll find Quentin.
The Knights took Quentin away not long ago. I think they're questioning him now.
Then we must hurry. Come, my friend. Down there. It's Quentin. Let's listen and try to figure out what's going on.
A new age of peace is upon us. An age of free peoples standing together. together, not kneeling to distant thrones.
This is not your war, General. What say you?
The war took everything from me. I am with you. How can I help?
The Order is trying to recruit Quentin? We have to put a stop to this.
Each delegate carries a medallion like this one, Magus. It serves as both an invitation and a key.
Keep it. We may need your access later. Right now, I want you to kill the meddling investigator nipping at our heels.
Lady Arabelle? But she's...
No longer working alone. She's found some capable help. Deal with them.
Oh, Quentin. I guess you've made your choice.
Here is your chance, Quentin. Stop these fools and strike a blow for the people.
I'm sorry, Lady Arabelle, but I have made my choice. For the Ascendant Order!
We can't allow the General to stop us. I'm sorry it came to that, but well thought, my friend. Let's speak outside. I didn't expect Guild General Quentin to turn on us, and I certainly didn't desire his death. It seems sympathy for the Ascendant Order is more widespread than I knew. We must be cautious, particularly with whom we choose to trust going forward. Do I expect it? No. But that doesn't mean we should let our guard down. This venture wasn't a complete failure, though. We rescued the captains of our missing ships. We need to find out what happened at sea and what befell the Alliance leaders. To Mandrake Manor, my home in Gonfalon Bay. I'll mark it on your map. Jacan Valencia and I have been using my townhouse as a base of operations. I'm confident that it is as safe from the Ascendant Order as any other location we might choose. Oh, the name comes from a book I'm rather fond of. I bought the manor to serve as my home in retirement, and I keep a few mementos of my career there. Meet me there, my dear, and we'll see what our rescued captains have to say about all this. Ah, there you are. Go inside and talk to Captain Colleen. Find out what happened at sea. I need a moment to collect my thoughts.
Must Zaji tell this sad story again? The last Zaji saw of Queen Irene, she was struggling to launch a damaged skiff. Then Zaji was swept away in the storm. Zaji was entrusted with getting her safely to High Isle, but he lost her and Koska. Zaji must admit, he was sleeping in his cabin when the storm hit. He woke up when cold water climbed into bed with him. The next thing Zaji knows, he is being fished out of the sea by strange knights. I'm saved, Zaji thinks. Then they tied me up. The annoying knights, yes. Zaji heard the commander talking. The Lord, they called him. He was angry the Alliance leaders did not wash ashore with Zaji. Zaji did not see the Lord's face, but he spoke like a Breton noble. Zaji could hear it. Zaji lost Queen Irene, and First Mate Casca too. The wind and the waves must have carried them somewhere else. The Lord and the Magus, the Order's leaders, they swore to comb every beach until they found her. And the others too, Zaji supposes.
Funny. First time we met, you were the one fished out of the water. Now look at us. I owe you a great debt. And I owe Dockmaster Arnauld a debt of a different kind. I visit High Isle often, and I thought he was a friend. Bah. An armored mage and a gang of ruffians were waiting at the shallows. They clubbed down all who made it ashore. Dockmaster Arnauld showed up, and I thought we were saved. But the mage, a Breton noble by his voice, paid him to walk away and leave. We were nearing landfall when a huge storm swept out of nowhere. I looked for the light at Gonfalon Head, but the lighthouse was dark. We were blown off course, crashed upon some rocks. I lost sight of High King Emmerich, but somehow made it to shore. I'm not sure. I didn't see any of the royals when I waded ashore, and I was the last one from my ship to make it to the beach. The tide turned as I swam in, and no one was washed up after me. I'm afraid you won't find the High King at the shallows.
I adore this view. Isn't the Colossus a wondrous sight? Still, gazing upon it does nothing to quell my anxiety. Somehow the Ascendant Order learned not only about our secret peace talks, but that the Alliance leaders were going to attend. And neither do we. We're not even sure they're still alive, but we must hope. Your help has been invaluable thus far, my dear, and you've earned every piece of gold in this pouch. We'll find the Alliance leaders and unmask the Order. We have to. Just as the Colossus watches over Gonfalon Bay, I was supposed to keep the Alliance leaders safe. I failed in that, but at least they aren't in the Ascendant Order's hands. Not yet, anyway. What did Captain Colleen and the others have to say, dear? Breton nobles? Yes. We heard that as well when the Ascendant Lord and the Magus were speaking in the crypts. That's something to go on. And if the Alliance leaders didn't end up in the shallows, we'll need to look elsewhere. What else, dear? Well, that's a lead we can investigate. I'd like to have a chat with Dockmaster Arnauld about that and a great many other things. I detest being lied to, and he did it with such conviction. You're still on retainer, dear. Would you care to join me? The Dockmaster's home overlooks the harbor to the west. Jacan and I will meet you there. First Quentin, now this. I hardly know who to trust. Times like these, I take a moment to contemplate the Colossus in the harbor. It helps clear my thoughts. That's one of the wonders of the archipelago, dear. The locals are very proud of their statue. Even a few of them know the real story behind who it represents. I like it as well. One of the reasons I bought the manor. Such a spectacular view. The Colossus of Gonfalon Bay is Baron Admiral Bendu Olo, though most on the mainland would know him as the Colovian King of Anvil. He formed the All Flags Navy around 2260 in the First Era to gain vengeance against the Slode for the Thracian Plague. The largest allied naval force in Tamrielic history. Ships from every nation and province participated, and many of the vessels were built right here on High Isle. The fleet launched from here and rained destruction upon Thras for their treachery. Nothing, my dear, but you asked. Lord Baccara selected High Isle for the peace talks because of that history, though. The All Flags Navy recalls a time when disparate people united in common cause. He hopes to inspire the delegates to do the same.
Mess.
I imagine the Ascendant Order ruffians loitering outside had something to do with that. Let's look around. A few drops of dried blood. A scuffle, but not a murder. Didn't it make us... Someone planning to depart. I think I have a picture of what transpired here. Let's talk, my dear.
I didn't know you were interested in that genre. I'll have to remember that.
Nothing packed, food left on the table, and signs of a recent scuffle. I think it's safe to say Dockmaster Arnauld found that his Ascendant Order friends weren't entirely satisfied with their arrangement. They've obviously spirited him away. The Dockmaster ignored the wishes of the Ascendant Magus. Captain Colleen saw Arnauld collect another payment at the lock. I suspect he got greedy, and once he proved he wouldn't stay bribed, well, he became a liability. The Ascendant Order's throwing around a lot of coin on High Isle. If we follow the gold, we'll find someone with wealth and local influence behind this. Another clue that a High Isle noble is involved. Perhaps they want to keep the war going. Profit, of course. That's what it always comes down to. Lord Bacaro should be able to tell us which nobles stand to lose if the war ends. Go to Steadfast Manor, northwest of the city. I'll have Jakarn look for the Dockmaster and then meet you there. Almost certainly. As I said, we must be careful about whom we trust. It is a concern, but it can also work to our advantage. Gold only buys loyalty for so long, and I suspect our adversaries are not as organized as they appear. We know their opening move didn't go as planned. They were interrogating the captains to try to find the missing alliance leaders. Now they've taken the Dockmaster, who would have been more useful to them where he was. They don't trust each other. I doubt it. If Dockmaster Arnauld knew where the Alliance leaders were, he would have happily sold that information to the Ascendant Magus in exchange for his freedom. We know he didn't because the Order is still looking for them. I suspect the Order wants power, not peace. When the throne is vacant, your prospects of becoming Emperor suddenly seem a good deal more promising. That sort of prize might tempt a noble with just the right mix of ambition, gold, and imagination. Lord Bacaro worked diligently to bring the peace talks to High Isle. Not everyone thought that was a good idea. I'm curious as to who opposed him and why. Better yet, he won't voice suspicions without good cause. We can rely on his discretion.
I want to help Lady Arabelle, but I'm concerned for the safety of my retainers.
My associate might be able to help in that regard, Lord Bacaro. Satisfying our curiosity.
Lady Arabelle asks about the nobility, while 2 of my retainers are missing. The Society of the Steadfast will do whatever is necessary to keep its people safe. She mentioned the Ascendant Order might be involved. Do you think that's possible? Yes, I understand that you and Lady Arabelle have tangled with these brigands before. They claim to be knights, but they have no honor. Will you do as Lady Arabelle suggested and look for my retainers? I would consider it a personal favor. I sent Grenier and Denise to retrieve a shipment from the Navir docks, but I expected them back ages ago. They were traveling the road to the south. I just pray no evil befell them. The supplies we can lose, but good people are irreplaceable. Thank you, my friend. I'll confer with Lady Arabelle while we await your return. I'll tell her everything I know about the nobility of High Isle, if she really thinks that will help. I knew peace would be hard to achieve, but I never expected a war.
You there! Can we speak?
Sometimes a little lie saves a ton of explanation.
You return alone. I take it the news is not good. Grenier and Denise were not just retainers. They were friends. The Steadfast shall miss them, and so shall I. Please, tell me what happened. Grenier and Denise were helping arrange a banquet at Castle Navir. Then they were to collect the supplies and return here. What could they have seen that would cost them their lives? The banquet is just to welcome our royal guests to the island. The Ascendant Order, plundering Steadfast supplies and killing our retainers. Damn. It was brave of Grenier to try to fight back, but foolish. The supplies weren't worth their lives. So Lady Arabelle informed me. I'd hesitate to accuse anyone, but perhaps you should join me at Castle Navir. All the nobles of High Isle would be there, and if my retainers did see something at the castle, perhaps you can determine what that was. Duchess Ilea of House Dufort is hosting the banquet. She's decided to go ahead and throw the party, even though our guests of honor are still missing. Go to Castle Navir's courtyard. Introduce yourself when you arrive. Be discreet, please. Duchess Alea wants to project confidence, especially in light of the current situation. Rumors travel swiftly in the archipelago. The people need to believe we have things under control. I expected to pay a ransom and have the delegates back by now. Ridiculous. No one opposes peace. It's just that some of the nobles questioned if this were the right time and place. Duchess Alea, for example, didn't want to bring the mainland's troubles to High Isle, not without hope our efforts would bear fruit. Count Leonard of House Mornard enjoys brisk profits by supplying all sides in the war. He doesn't want that to end too abruptly, especially not in a way that makes Alea and House Dufort look good. He detests that she decided to host the talks. Rivals and partners. House Mornard built its wealth on trade. They rely on House Dufort ships to carry their goods. But the two families have long vied with each other for primacy. The Mornards resent the fact that the Duforts rule High Isle. My family has always believed that wealth is meant to foster good works. When the three alliances went to war, I made the decision to do whatever I could to help common folk caught in their violent wake. So I started the Society of the Steadfast. We're not a religious organization per se, but we do take inspiration from the teachings of Standar. We establish healing centers and other works to show compassion and mercy to those touched by this terrible war, soldiers and commoners both. We're a small society that mostly works near the battlefields of Cyrodiil. I did turn a portion of my estate on High Isle into a healing center. We bring the badly wounded here to recuperate. The peace talks naturally grew out of our other efforts. Duchess Alea wants to project confidence, especially in light of the current situation. Rumors travel swiftly in the archipelago. The people need to believe we have things under control.
It's a shame the Ascendant Order got to Lord Baccaro's retainers before you could. What could they have seen that warranted their deaths? Perhaps we'll learn more at Castle Navir, although I'm certainly not in the mood for a party. And our missing guests of honor will no doubt be the main topic of discussion. This is a chance to listen, as well as ask questions. Make sure you speak to Alea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and John Menard. They'll be the most important nobles present. Until we know more, I suspect everybody. But if any of the nobles are funding the Ascendant Order, I think it likely that it's one of the grand families of High Isle. That means House Dufort or House Menard. Either way, we'll know more soon.
I heard the daughter is so distraught she's refusing to leave her rooms. So exciting.
Scandalous. No doubt Isabel is beside herself. Poor girls.
What brings you to our tourney grounds here at Castle Navir? Oh, never mind that. Have you heard the latest? The Knight Commander has offered her daughter's hand in marriage to the Sapphire tourney winner. Everyone's aghast. Well, Aurelia has been the most desirable hand on High Isle for years, but no one thought she'd ever commit to a match. Seems the commander has forced the issue. Oh, no, that would be a slap in the face to her mother. And Aurelia is such a good girl. More scandal. Her friend Isabel is a participant in the tourney. She's sworn to free Aurelia from her mother's promise. I can't wait to find out what happens. If you help Isabel win the tournament, she could agree to marry Aurelia, then free her from the shortest engagement in history. Delicious!
Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll figure something out. I always do. I'm sorry, this isn't the best time. My friend Aurelia has a bit of a problem. Her mother has promised her hand in marriage, and I need to get her out of it. Somehow. Actually, you look quite capable. Would you mind lending me a hand? Apologies. My name is Isabelle Valois. I'm an aspirant in the Sapphire Tourney, a proving ground for squires looking to join the knightly orders. Aurelia's mother is Knight Commander and, brashly offered her daughter's hand as a prize. Well, normally, aspirants only compete in one of the trials. If I can win all three, the Knight Commander will be compelled to grant a boon of my choosing. I can free Aurelia from her mother's promise. What do you say? Will you be my second? The 8 must have me in their hearts. My second just left my service, and here I was thinking I'd have to do it alone. All right, there are 3 knightly orders here on the Isle. Let's decide what task to tackle first. The people of the Sisters take pride in our knights, the same as anywhere in High Rock. The Sapphire Tourney hosts 3 orders: the Iron Knot, the Oaken Order, and the Order of the Albatross. They're martial warriors and excellent to horse. You might say the Iron Knot is the most traditional of the Sapphire Orders. Our trial will be to find the hilt from a lost sword called Redheart. It was the blade of the first Duke Dufort. Somewhere on these lands, before they belonged to the Duforts, the hilt supposedly had a massive rough-cut ruby in it. Should be easy to spot. My last squire, Burjo, suggested we hit the castle library to get an idea of where to start looking. 8 above help me. They're artists and sailors, singers, bards, and pirates all. Brave, swashbuckling warriors that make you recite poetry. Ghastly stuff. No, thankfully. Our trial will be to reclaim the gilded loot of Captain Brenvale. The story goes that he went down into the castle crypts years ago, hoping to use song and steel to subdue a spirit. He never returned. Hopefully we'll do better. Oaken Knights tend to be battle mages, conjurers, and support spellcasters. Their power stems from High Isle's strong tradition of druidic magic. Our trial will be to convince an elder to give us a staff, a symbol of their order. I'm guessing it won't be that straightforward, but who knows? There's a way shrine near the Coral River to the east. I'll meet you there, and we can make for the site of the trial. 8 above help me. No, thankfully. The catacombs are beneath the castle's chapel. We should just be able to grab a key near the stairs. I'll meet you there. With luck, this one should be fairly straightforward. Not counting the ghosts, of course. Of course! Drake, I'm sorry. I bet I came on a little strong. I've spent months preparing for the tourney, and now the commander's pronouncement has sent me adrift. I'll be all right. What would you like to know? Sorry. It's a curse I picked up from my dad. A word from the old druid tongue that's been co-opted for common folk. I sort of grew up here at the castle, and it's a little more acceptable than the curses the dockhands use, so I use it. Aurelia and I grew up together. We've been close since we were very young, and, well, I can't stand the thought of her marrying one of the other aspirants. Especially Morton's. My goodness, what a dreary man. Nope. The tourney is only called every few years, as schedule and aspirants allow. The commander wants to make sure there are enough people in the mix to make it a challenge. And the orders are only so large on High Isle, as you might imagine. I'm not sure how Tam's folk tourneys work, but here, each order sets a challenge. Attempting the challenge for an order marks you in good standing, and each order only chooses 1 or 2 aspirants for knighthood. It's fairly competitive as a result. I'm not a knight just yet. That's why I'm in the tourney. I was a squire for years before I came an aspirant. You don't want to know how many stalls I've cleaned. The tourney gives me a chance to prove my worth to the orders, you see. That's a handsome question. I wish I had an answer for you. I can see ways that I'd be a good fit for either the Oaken Order or the Iron Knot. Maybe even the Order of the Albatross. That's a problem for Day's End, Isabel to face. I'll meet you at the castle's chapel. The entrance to the catacombs is within.
You're going to help us. Oh, the Eight bless you.
Might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here. Do you still prefer a Russafeld red, my lady?
That would be delightful. Thank you, Bacaro. Introduce yourself to the nobility, my friend. And remember, even the smallest detail could be the clue we seek.
Such a waste. I have little patience for the vanity of our noble houses on the best of days. Right now, I'm sure we all have better things we could be doing. I suspect you agree. You're the one assisting Lord Bacaro and Lady Arabelle, aren't you? I try to keep up on matters of state, but I confess, Alea told us all about you. I am Count de Mard, the Duchess's brother and court mage of House Dufort. Tell me, has your investigation uncovered news regarding a sudden storm that appeared recently? A hypothesis that matches my own. While my sister chases bandit knights across the countryside, I wonder about the druids who make the wild parts of High Isle their home. They have little love for civilized culture. They could be responsible. I don't think that storm was natural. The druids wield old magics and consort with spirits. It is well within their abilities to summon such a tempest. They mostly keep to themselves, but I suspect a ruse. Those are your culprits, mark my words. Magic is the legacy and heritage of the Breton people. Oh, I spent my time mastering the sword and knightly pursuits in my youth, but I believe that a true Breton must study both halves of our nature, and perhaps the ways of the druids, too. We Bretons trace our ancestry to Needs and Elves who intermingled during the early history of High Rock. Therefore, spellcraft is in our blood, and we all at least have some talent with magic. I find the subject fascinating and decided to embrace it. No, some have forgotten our traditions. Were it not for my talent, I doubt my sister would bother with a court mage. She sends me to look after Dufort interests in ports across Tamriel, rather than making full use of my arcane skills. A pity.
I don't believe we've met. John Monard, a pleasure. My family is in shipping. We import goods from the mainland and send wares from the archipelago to markets in Tamriel. You're the investigator working with Lady Arabelle, aren't you? The Duchess explained everything to the court just before you arrived. If Lady Arabelle had consulted us, things would be different. We know what hazards await careless captains making the approach to High Isle. Her ships were simply unprepared. Don't tell me you buy into this Ascendant Order nonsense. A shadowy order of knights working to undermine the governments all across Tamriel? It's a ruse, my friend. A convenient fiction to protect the flawless name of House Dufort. Oh. Alea gained her station by currying favor in High Rock. Then she made a show of backing Lord Bacaro's steadfast society. But ruining the peace talks and getting heads of state killed? Blame must be placed. And she'd never fall on that sword herself. My family ruled the archipelago for generations, but the Duforts were never happy in our shadow. They spent years poisoning the court against us. And when my uncle Avreep quietly supported King Rancer a few years back, it paid off for them. The High King stripped my uncle of the ducal title and gave it to the Duforts. It was an outrage, really. We took no part in Rancer's war. At least the Duforts didn't get everything they wanted. We kept most of our holdings, and it eats at them. Goodness, no. That honor falls to my cousin Leonard, and he can have it. I wouldn't want the responsibility. No, I'm content managing our affairs here on High Isle. I leave the larger concerns of the business and house to my cousin, the Count.
Lord Baccaro has arrived, Duchess. He brought that Lady Arabelle with him.
Welcome to Castle Navir. You're Lady Arabelle's assistant, yes? Then you know these festivities are only for appearances' sake. Our guests of honor have yet to be found. Rest assured, I intend to bring the radicals behind this plot to justice. I'm aware of most things that happen on my isle. It's true we didn't connect reports of mysterious knights to the Ascendant Order until recently, but now that we know they are one and the same, we'll quickly bring them to heel. I suggest that you and Lady Arabelle leave this matter in our hands. My knights have already pinpointed several sites where the Ascendant Order gathers. They are scouring High Isle for our missing guests even as we speak. Which is why I prefer to handle this discreetly. I suspect House Mornard is behind this. They profit greatly from the war, and they still hold a grudge against my house for overshadowing their own. Frankly, I put nothing past them. One should be careful when talking about one's neighbors. Still, Count Mornard's dislike of my family is well known. Years ago, his father backed King Rancer of Shornhelm in his dispute with High King Emmerich. Emmerich did not forget it. He punished Avreep Mornard by stripping him of his ducal title and granting it to my father instead. The Mornards remain counts, with holdings and estates throughout the Isles. But the Duforts are now the Dukes of the Sisters. My family builds ships. Our shipyards construct the finest vessels to ply the western seas. In reward for our service, High King Emmerich granted us the Duchy of Sisters. We rule with care and compassion for all, even the Mornards.
Might I offer you a refreshment, friend? Didn't think I'd miss this little soiree, did you? Listen, I have it on good authority from a very accommodating chambermaid, in fact, that the Duchess has been looking into the Ascendant Order on her own. Well, I've got a plan. Not Jakarn, waiter Fred. I'm in disguise. I told you about the chambermaid, right? She's one of the Duchess's personal assistants. Well, she told me where the Duchess keeps her sensitive documents, among other unmentionable items. Nobles and the upper staff never pay attention to the common help. I easily filched a key from that stuck-up steward Hercian. While I cause a distraction, you go take a look. Duchess Alea has a private study somewhere beyond the northeast door. I'll lure the guards away from the doors, but I'll need your help. Talk to one of the musicians and ask them to play the tune Stagger and Sway. It's an old favorite of mine. I'll take care of the rest.